Yes, CES is generally a very hairy experience when you're a journalist, and there are 5,000 of us here. So I'm getting used to it a little bit, but I've been up to a fair amount of things. I learned how to drive a bulldozer this week, and that was in order to crush some technology, to test out some rugged technology. Also, because we do things a little differently on Daily Planet, we decided to test out some life-proof, some waterproof technology, as well as some goggles. So I went into a shark tank and went diving with some of that stuff. So it's a little unusual in terms of how we test our technology for CES, but pretty hardcore.
What do you think is the cool stuff you saw?
I've seen so many amazing things. For me, the thing that made my jaw drop a little bit was really the Audi self-parking car, a car that really does come to you. I've seen those with GM before, but this one was eerie, almost ghostly, and seeing the app, seeing the way it moves so smoothly, seeing a steering wheel just rotating on its own was absolutely incredible. So everything from big technology to really small technology. I got my nails done today, and they were done on a printer. So this is my Discovery Channel nail nail thing that I had done as well. So, you know, there's so much here to see. Everything from gesture-controlled smart homes to gesture-controlled cars. So lots of innovative stuff every year.
Do you think there was any trends that you saw this year? I mean, miniaturization seems to be a big one.
Miniaturization and maximization. I mean, we're definitely seeing iPads, tablets becoming larger. For me, it's really been about the way in which we control our technology. So as I was saying to you, I was really interested. We just got used to touch screens, man. Like, we were just doing this, and now it's all this with the gesture control. We're also seeing things like eye control, being able to use eye tracking technology to be able to navigate screens like Windows 8, things like that. And then of course there are the people from Toronto, Interaxon. They've developed Muse technology where you put on a headband that monitors your brain waves, alpha, beta, theta, and with that you can even control a light switch. So it's really incredible stuff.
Any disturbing things?
Disturbing things. I think the most disturbing thing for me personally is that just as I got here, I broke my toenail, my baby toe, and my baby toenail cracked right off. And if you're walking 1.9 million square kilometers, the equivalent of 33 football fields, I almost died. And you want to know what's worse? I have a canker sore on my tongue from talking so much, from doing so many interviews. So, you know, the pains are slight but dramatic. So that's some of the pain of CES, but that's the only thing that's been disturbing so far.
Have there been any good things that you found, I mean, that have made things easier for you doing your job?
Doing my job, let me think about that. I mean, obviously every year we see a lot of cameras, we see a lot of developments in technology, and a lot of developments in computing, and that's what helps all of us do our jobs, right? Slimmer, faster, sleeker. So we're seeing a lot of those things. But yeah, for the most part, I really like coming here because you get to see, it's not just the tryhards, it's the diehards. You know, the people who really and truly love technology are here every year, and I especially love the ones who come here to try and make it a better place.
Yes. Well, it's interesting that this year they said like 180-some thousand attendees. I mean, it's interesting that there's such a growth in terms of interest and everything in technology now.
Yeah, I think that's because every single one of us is involved with technology. We actually happen to be sitting in front of something called the fireplace, which is an interesting new technology. What it is essentially, it's a social hearth. So a lot of the times, most of us, we're quite isolated when we're, you know, on our phones or what have you. In fact, a personal pet peeve of mine is when you're sitting there and you're talking to somebody and they're like, and you're like, I'm right here. This is a very cool idea because essentially this light, they're using different frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum to do things like cook food, to create ambiance, to bring people together socially. So I think it's not just about social networking. We need new technologies that don't separate us but keep us linked, but in fact bring us together to keep us linked.
Well, now another big topic this year, and it's been back and forth, is the term booth babes.
Oh, right. There's not very many booth babes this year.
No, and I find it interesting that, you know, BBC has done a lot of talk on this because they interviewed them last year and they came again this year.
Right.
What's your take on it? I mean, the idea of sexism at CES.
Sexism at CES, well, that's interesting to me because, well, for one, I actually interviewed the two women who developed the Audi South parking cars, the senior engineer and the technical director, both women. I refused to make a big deal out of it, even though I was like, you are so amazing, this tech is so cool, because I would never do that with a male engineer. The interesting thing about booth babes, I mean, I actually saw a guy modeling something today too, is the debate online right now seems to be about fake nerds. You know, whether you're a fake nerd, whether you're like really nerdy, or whether you're pretending to be nerdy so that you look cool. And I think the problem with the booth babes is I'm not sure that they've been hired to stand next to a car or a piece of technology. If they were booth babes that weren't fake nerds, I'd be all about it. Like, you know, whether they were male or female.
That would be cool. I have to admit, you're right.
I don't know. That's my only take on it. But if they're really into it, then, you know, wear whatever you want to wear. I really don't care.
Cool. And I mean, the last thing I want to ask is, I mean, the entrepreneurial spirit at CES seems to be huge. Do you have a favorite entrepreneurial kind of adventure you've seen at CES?
I see so many of them, but I saw two I'll tell you about briefly. One was the one that came in second place for the Eureka Park contest that was going on. That was amazing. They have essentially developed a product. Basically, you can wear a shirt, and we took him into the ice bar here in Las Vegas. Everybody's wearing like fake fur coats, and he was able to wear a shirt because it was a heated outfit, heated clothing, and it cools you down and heats you up. That was very cool. And then also I just met a guy today who's developed something called it's this amazing Artiphone instrument. It's wooden, and you put your iPhone inside and you can play unlimited number of instruments. So you hold it up like this, you can make it a bass, you play it like this, you can play it like a regular banjo. And then I held it up to my chin and I played it like a violin. So that was really cool. Like every year, lots of innovation, really smart people, really smart ideas, and that's why we all come to CES.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.